everyone.
All right, are we getting things started?
I think we are.
All right, welcome to the stream, everyone. I am Bones. I'm here with S. We are
Hi.
watching the Team Apocalypse versus Team LG today.
I'm really excited to see everyone.
Really excited to see everybody in the chat. Really excited to see what these teams have in store for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a little bit of a minute while we wait for the teams to file in, everybody to get set up. But while we wait, I think it would be pretty good to just go over what we know about these teams so far and what we could be expecting to see during this tournament today.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited to see what a lot of our survivors have, just because I'm really interested in the versatile aspect of survivor play. Um, but I do know we have a lot of strong hunters in our lineup here.
On the side of Apocalypse, we have our hunter is Dishonorable, who we believe will be playing possibly a clerk, possibly photographer, violinist, bloody queen. Um, Definitely a lot of potential hunters on the side of Apocalypse that we could be seeing today.
Right.
And on the side of LG, we have that one idiot who is very well known for playing the Ripper. So definitely a little bit of off-meta action in that area. And yeah, really excited to see that. Some representation for a hunter who's at a little bit more of a disadvantage in comparison to some of, more traditional picks. But, I myself, just as a little bit of an introduction, I main the reptilian, the main lizard. So definitely, definitely a big fan of seeing those hunters who
Yeah, for sure.
aren't
I'm
as
really
commonly used. Yeah.
oh, so sorry.
Oh no, you're fine.
I am actually really excited to see that Hunter, the Ripper. Personally, he's not my favorite to go against, but I do know he is strong in terms of like his kit, and I'm really, really excited about that. Just because from starting from Koa 1 up until now, he's kind of been knocked off his throne as like the meta hunter. So I'm really excited to see how that one idiot plays him.
And on the side of the survivors, we'll start again with Apocalypse.
Mm,
Definitely a lot of really powerful survivors on that team. We have a top tier Antiquarian, top tier Gravekeeper. Definitely, strong meta survivors on that side. We've seen a lot of the Antiquarian in the Call of the Abyss tournament. Um, and, you know, things like that, like really able to sort of utilize that stick, that flute, very, very strong harasser. So
right.
definitely hoping that we get to see some Antiquarian before, she gets banned.
Yeah, I'm really excited just because on the survivor side for LG, we have such a wide variety. So obviously we have like our antiquarian mains and our dancer mains, but we have like people who play like Patty, so our enchantress or our perfumer and our seer. We have a lot of harassers on this side of the team, so I'm really excited to see the kind of mix up we get here.
And it looks like we're actually going to be heading into the map bans and picks. It looks like we are going to be heading onto what I believe is Sacred Heart,
Oh,
with the ban on the Lakeside Village, which is not very surprising. Definitely in terms of probably looking for a little bit more power on their survivor side. Um, Picking Sacred Heart can be really, really strong, and it does give a little bit more of a challenge to the hunters. It's a very strong map for survivors, very, very difficult for hunters, especially in that central hospital area, in those walled areas. So yeah, definitely understand picking that map over Lakeside Village. But it'll
for
be interesting to
sure.
see how these hunter mains are able to sort of counteract that.
Yeah, I'm really excited. In terms of maps, obviously I am very biased towards Sacred Heart. It's definitely as someone who is uh more so of a survivor player, it's definitely stronger on the side of people who do understand the grounds a bit more. So I feel like this is definitely like a really good choice on LG's behalf. I'm really excited to see what Apocalypse has to offer for us in terms of uh, kiting and tunneling and all the aspects of hunting here.
Yeah, it's really, really shaping up to be an interesting match. Going back to a little bit of what we might be seeing on the Survivor side, on the side of LG. Let me see. Yep. So on the side of LG, it looks like we're going to be seeing a good amount of harassment as well. More Antiquarian as well. Possibly a forward, possibly another Enchantress. Definitely some really exciting stuff taking up. And it looks like we're going to be seeing the Priestess ban first. Pretty much a no-brainer.
Right.
Um,
Especially Priestess
especially
on
on a
this
map like
map.
Sacred Heart. Yep.
Right, right. Priestess in that hospital is definitely a huge no-go. And it
Mm-hmm.
looks like our
Yep.
first lock-in is going to be the psychologist. And we have forward. I'm really excited.
Yep, definitely very, very strong picks on the Survivor side here. Oh, and yep, that Antiquarian ban is going to come through.
Absolutely
Pretty unsurprising.
nailed her.
Um, a little bit surprised that she wasn't a first pick, but again, forward, definitely one of the strongest harassers in the game. And we're going to see that Dancer ban as well, definitely trying to get rid of those more powerful survivors. Um, while, Psychologist, very, very good choice. Forward, very, very good choice. Able to Psychologist, difficult to knock down, takes those 3 hits. And forward with that ball, very, very formidable harasser. And we are going to see that Toy Merchant coming in.
She's
Um,
beautiful on this map. Great for distance, great for length. If you get your catapult just the right, you can get in and out of the hospital super, super easily. It's perfect for her. And we also just watched as we got a mech ban. Pretty good. She's definitely one of those characters you have to look out for, especially if you are put up against someone whose first kite is pretty strong. Unfortunately, because of how the mechanic is, she's not as 100% strong as I would like her to be, but you know,
Yeah, she's definitely a very strong first round pick, especially when, just kind of feeling each other out, gunning for more of a tie. Mechanics is super strong tie survivor. And we are going to see the Enchantress locked in as that last pick.
I'm so
So
excited.
definitely a really, really strong lineup on the side of the
Yeah,
survivors for this match.
we have.
Looking at high containment times, most
I was
likely,
just
a lot
gonna
of
say,
harassment.
definitely a lot of harassment on this team, which was to be expected from LG, just because a lot of them are very strong on harassing, it seems. But I'm really excited for this toy merchant, this psychologist. It's wonderful to see where we'll see them at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, looking at it's a very solid survivor lineup, and it's almost difficult to predict who will be this first chase. Personally, I would go probably for that Enchantress or that possibly the Psychologist, possibly the Toy Merchant. Definitely not that forward.
Oh,
Forward can be
definitely.
very difficult on that first kite, but Enchantress, very strong survivor, especially if the spawn selection puts her in those walls. Can be very, very difficult to deal with. And that toy merchant as well, especially on a map like this, be able to utilize those levels, especially able to glide into through the windows of that hospital. Um, just it's a very strong survivor lineup on a map that's already so strong for the survivors.
I
And I believe we're just waiting for that hunter pick now.
I definitely agree. I'm really, really excited, especially for the Enchantress pick. She's not really a character you see that often anymore, just because of how accessible it is for people to counter that her stun. But especially with that 3 stack, she's definitely something to look out for, especially if she gets enough distance, which would really play into the support of the toy merchant or the forward here. Either way, perfect team.
Yup, and it looks like the survivors have actually just selected their persona webs, which I don't believe it's showing up on the screen, but just for everybody to know, it looks like we're going with a pretty standard lineup. We've got that one Tide on the forward, and then everybody else, we've got Flywheel on the Enchantress, and then both the Psychologist and the Toy Merchant are carrying Broken Windows. So very strong lineup. Definitely agree with that choice of Flywheel for the Enchantress, seeing as she does need to stay close to the Hunter. And we're going to see a Sculptor locked in for that first round pick.
Beautiful, magnificent. I'm such a huge Sculptor fan. Honestly, the Cola 4 was definitely her time to shine. She was beautiful. Uh, the biggest concern I see here is definitely the Enchantress, just because she's able to just eat the statues, easy stats. So I feel like if anything, it looks like the Enchantress might be the more reasonable first chase here, just to get her kind of out of the way.
Definitely. I do, a little bit worried about just the strength of these survivors, and on a map like this, Sacred Heart so strong, and especially at that no presence Sculptor can be either really, really strong in those walled areas, able to cut survivors off, and oh, it appears that they have swapped to Flywheel for that Toy Merchant as well. So we are looking at 2 Flywheels on the Toy Merchant and the Enchantress, 1 Broken Windows on the Psychologist, and our single Tide on the forward. So very standard lineup, very strong on that sort of containing the Hunter. Broken Windows on that Psychologist in particular, very good for just breaking distance, because she really has nothing else to work with.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yep. Yep, we're just getting ready to start that match up. Team should be filing in pretty shortly. But yeah, in the meantime, it looks like there's a lot of discussion in the chat about what skins these hunters could be using.
I know I'm
Um,
watching.
Obviously, fashion is very, very important in this game.
Who else
Uh,
plays this game for the game except for the cosmetics?
yeah, no, I would definitely love to see Sirius. That's the Sculptor's brand new skin for the Call of the Abyss winners. I believe, yep, it was Wolves last year.
Oh,
They got Sirius and the Mercenary skin Sagittarius to match. So definitely we could be seeing that. We could be seeing, Succubus, Checkmate. Really, Sculptor has so many nice skins.
yeah, I feel like in terms of skins, Sculptor's really up there with the amount that she has. I feel like they are never really lacking, to be honest. Honestly, any skin is perfect by me. I'm a huge, huge fan of Checkmate. It was my first skin for her. She's beautiful.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to see the survivors start to file in for this match. Um, yep, we're having LG on the side of the survivors first, and Apocalypse on the side of the hunters. And it looks like, I believe, I'm going to assume that this is dishonorable on the hunter side for Apocalypse, as was stated before, but I have not received that information yet. So, but we are going to be looking at, standard mains. On the side of LG, we will be seeing, yep, that forward locked in right away. Um,
Immediately. All right. It looks like we got pretty suitable lineup here.
we've got that. Oh, and we're going to be seeing Maria, so that sort of clears up that debate. Um,
Beautiful.
but yeah, really, really strong lineup on the side of the survivors. Definitely excited to see where these spawn picks are going to go. What do you think that first chase is going to be? I know we discussed it briefly earlier, but as these spawn picks file
Personally,
in, any speculations?
personally, I really think either the Enchantress or the Psychologist are definitely going to be the first to go. In terms of chase, these are definitely like characters I would rather pick first, just because where we're at on the map and everything. uh, and who these characters are, especially Galatea and Secret Heart. There's lots of walls, so I'm really anticipating this.
Yeah, and it looks like the survivors really planned for that as well, placing the psychologist inside that hospital and the enchantress over at the shack. Really strong starting kiting areas for these
Right.
survivors to enter the match. And yep, we are about to enter right into it. Alright, and it does look like that enchantress is going to be the first found and the first to take the kite. Already transitioning over to these walls. Really, what a strong area for the enchantress to start in. These statues coming up, and yeah.
Right. Beautiful statue hit there. Especially just because of how close cornered these walls are, and we are seeing the catapult into play already.
Yep, already transitioning into the hospital. Really, really great start by this enchantress, leading the sculptor all the way around, and already taking that basic hit. Um, we're going to see those stacks just sort of slowly accumulate as she is taken through this hospital.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see where this kite goes, especially just because it seems like the Enchantress is very keen on staying in towards the shack and the walled area. These are perfect spots for her to be, and ooh, perfect stun there. Unfortunately, that pallet just went down just too slowly.
Yeah, beautiful knowledge of that sculptor's hitbox, able to just get right in there, right at the edge, and downing the enchantress at 4 ciphers remaining. But it looks like we're still making some pretty good time on those ciphers. Hopefully able to sort of make up for lost time. And yep, so a little bit of pressure as well on that cipher as the chair is very close to where the toy merchant was decoding.
Yeah, the perfect angle for that graveyard there, and immediately hit on that forward, giving the rescue. It's a bit instant, but as long as it saves them some time and allows the Enchantress to pull off her kite and rebound.
Yep, and we are going to see, attempted stun there from that forward, but really getting that basic hit in, bringing the sculptor closer and closer to that full presence, and at full presence, those statues are going to be much harder to dodge. So, yeah, but a great area for the Enchantress to continue her rebound. Oh, and oh no!
Oh, beautiful. That was wonderful coming off of that sculptor, immediately stunning her right off of that catapult.
Yeah, beautifully timed statue, and then a hit to secure that down. Really great attempt at that assist, but unfortunately, Sculptor saw it coming, and the Enchantress is going to see her second chair. We've got the Toy Merchant flying in from above here to make a rescue. Oh, and the forward as
Oh,
well, but unfortunately, a very well-placed wall is going to get in his way, and he is going to go down. As well as the Enchantress very, very shortly.
I would say this is a very perfect rescue, but unfortunately, just without the tide, in tight situations like this, is just not very formidable. Um, it's very easy to get your survivor immediately eliminated at that rate.
And that harassment from the forward, just sort of, acting as a second body. It does not appear that the sculptor was very afraid of him, and possibly for a good reason. But we are going to see that Toy Merchant sort of transitioning away, trying to give her teammates time to heal up, and the forward is going to get up and transition out of that area. But yep, and the sculptor is going to continue this chase on the Toy Merchant.
Yeah, this sculptor's putting up a lot of really great pressure, especially on healing and decoding. It looks like we are stuck at 3 ciphers, and it seems like the psychologist is about to finish one, and the forward has just started another one.
Yep, as that Toy Merchant sees her first chair, and we are going to see some pressure put on these ciphers as well, as the sculptor puts up one of those graveyards, ready to pressure that psychologist. It does look like, yep, it was able to get that chip in, able to deplete that shield before any sort of remote healing could have gone through on the forward. So he is going to be stuck at half health. And the psychologist, possibly going to come in for that rescue. Definitely the only one who potentially could at this time. But yep, another chisel graveyard opened up, ready to pressure that forward, stop him from decoding.
This chair in itself is really difficult just because it is such a pinpoint halfway mark between a lot of the ciphers. And Sculptor is definitely one of those characters that goes for distance. So we're going to
Mm-hmm.
support coming up with a
Ooh.
beautiful stun. Definitely something to look out for. And we got that clean rescue right off after cast, but we still do have some time. And if the not the psychologist, the toy merchant can execute a rebound, it's gonna go perfectly.
Yep. Oh, and unfortunately, that forward is going to see the ground once again, with only a very small sliver of that ball left. But he did buy enough time for that toy merchant to sort of transition around the hospital, but it looks like the sculptor is still hot on her tracks, already catching up through the stairs, coming around, but actually going to switch targets and try and find a different direction. It looks like she may have lost sight of that toy merchant.
It looks like we're turning around and going back for the forward just because there is the anticipation that the toy merchant will come back and heal.
Yep, and
And
that is exactly what she's doing. It was able to get the forward off the ground once again, but that ball is really not going to be able to be utilized again. And oh, the cooldown on those glider is still back up, and we're going to see her. Yep, that's the beauty of the toy merchant, able to glide all the way around, almost making it to that doorway, but not quite, but still able to make a ton of distance. And oh, the cipher's going to pop!
oh wow, I didn't even anticipate that. Oh my goodness. Really good
Yeah.
coming off of the forward and the psychologist on this on decoding here, and definitely on the toy merchant keeping the Galatea distracted. Unfortunately, she is meeting her final chair, and we have to anticipate the fact the sculptor is going to change towards the forward and the psychologist who were anticipating going to that back gate there.
Yep, really great switch in direction, change in target. Looks like we're probably going to be seeing a one-man escape at this time. Psychologist already making her way to another gate forward, keeping up that tinnitus still in the area, but it's caught in the radius of that chip graveyard, but it's not going to do much at this time. The sculptor does have detention though, for a little over a minute, so definitely able to put that pressure on the forward. Dungeon's not here, so there's not really much for her to worry about, even as the psychologist opens that other gate. And yep, we are going to be looking at a one-man escape for LG today in this
Yeah,
first round.
that was a lot of great pressure coming off of the forward at the end there.
Really great turning that around from almost unsalvageable to being able to push all the way to the Cypher Pops. Really great work on the side of LG, and obviously wonderful work on the side of Apocalypse as well, with that Hunter able to just keep up the pressure. And despite the fact that the survivors sort of tried to bounce back, take him out. But we are going to be looking at the stats now. Beautiful 123-second kite, really high containment times on almost all of the survivors except for that psychologist who almost got 300% decoding. So yeah,
The
that kind of speaks for
psychologist,
itself.
right? I was gonna say that psychologist did such a great and wonderful job of just staying clear of the sculptor's way, especially when you're going for a character that doesn't have any decoding buff. Psychologist is probably up there on this team formation, who can definitely pressure on those ciphers more just to match the level of that sculptor too.
And yeah, sometimes the most valuable thing you can do is almost nothing at all. Just have a very, very relaxing match. Decode those ciphers. As long as you're not the mercenary, ciphers can be very relaxing. And yeah, just great work on both sides. Really, very strong first round. Definitely able to even if it was a loss, the survivors definitely displayed a lot of good skill here. And we're going to start on 3-1 on the side of Apocalypse.
Yeah, that was a really great match. There was a lot of really tight spaces there that were just missed. Honestly, that was great pressure coming from off of the survivors, and definitely still coming straight off of the hunter there. Sculptor is definitely one of my favorite choices when it comes to pressure, just because she has that distance and she has that range. So I'm definitely interested in seeing if we can see her more during this tournament.
Yeah, so just going to wait around here for a bit for the next match, and oh, looks like never mind. Don't mind me. We are going to head right into the picks and bans for the next round. We're going to be looking at LG Hunting and Apocalypse Surviving. Same map. What do you think we'll be seeing in terms of these picks, S?
Honestly, definitely when we're looking at Apocalypse, we have a lot of on their team just as much as we do on LG. I'm really excited. I'm really hoping just to see Antiquarian in that play, or Prisoner. I definitely think those two are great picks here, especially because Prisoner's decoding. If we are going for a decoder space, is perfect, especially on such a big map like this. It gets you distance, it gets you range, and you can finish those ciphers just as fast as it would with like a mechanic, just because that prisoner gets that 10%, 15, I think, if I'm remembering right. It's been such a long time.
Uh,
Decoding buff when he has linked connections.
yeah, passively, I think it is about like 15 or 20. I
Yeah.
don't remember off the top of my head. I am not a prisoner main, but yeah, we're an antiquarian ban already, and we are going to see Priestess as that first pick for the side of Apocalypse, and an entomologist following suit. Definitely really strong picks for this map. Obviously, the Priestess, you do not want to chase her in that hospital, but apart from the hospital, you know, Sacred Heart, pretty sizable map. Definitely able to utilize those global portals, and just help her teammates. She's very, very strong assist survivor, very strong container, and the entomologist as well can serve a similar purpose.
Yeah, I was really anticipating the priestess first ban, but not shocked to see Antiquarian in that position, and it looks like we're also getting a mechanic and a seer ban, which are both arguably really great characters on this map as well. This already is pretty great. In general, he's definitely still up there in terms when it comes to meta. Um, I'm really excited because we are seeing some a little bit off meta kind of situations in some areas, especially with those Enchantress picks. But I am really excited to see this Priestess play just because Hospital and Priestess are definitely the best duo.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very strong picks on the side of Apocalypse to start things off. Really excited to see how those bees can come in handy, especially in the smaller areas on the map. Those walled areas are a beast. And oh, we're going to see an Embalmer. Really interesting pick from Apocalypse for this first round, but again, Embalmer on pretty much any map that isn't flat, like Arms Factory or Red Church, or even there as well, if you know how to use him, Embalmer can be a very, very strong pick, able to basically give a free rescue to his teammates. And on a map like this, with those levels in that hospital, really able to just sort of take those teammates out of the way of the hunter, buy time. And with the help of the priestess and the entomologist, this is really shaping up to be a kind of brutal match on the side of the assist.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a challenging match here. And we are going to see that Mercenary ban right there, um, which makes sense. Mercenary is definitely one of those characters that is very strong and super long lasting. I am really excited to see this ASAP gameplay just because ASAP is one of those characters that could definitely turn any match into a tie or a win, especially with that coffin. It's all very dependent on the end, and if that embalmer gets your mirror, not mirror image. Oh my goodness, not Joseph.
Could
I'm
be.
grown.
But yeah, able to get that appearance, able to really strong assist. Aesop's one of those characters that, a little bit underrated, I think, in terms of the support potential. And we're going to see a Gravekeeper locked in as that. Definitely really strong pick. Usually that, or at least formerly, we've kind of been seeing him overtaken by the first officer in terms of that backup merc meta.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gravekeeper still a really solid choice, especially with that semi-recent buff, able to go in and out of those shovels multiple times and sort of conserve that energy.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. And with this lineup, what hunter do you think we'll be seeing?
I mean, it is LG hunting,
Mm,
so I do hope that we will be seeing that Ripper come out. A little bit, can Ripper, one of those hunters that, or as most hunters are, can be at a little bit of a disadvantage on a map like this, but, Sacred Heart is not a map that takes any prisoners, so, still hoping to see that Ripper, especially because, that is that 180 its main, and, exciting to see, an off-meta hunter probably will be picked in this first round, if at all, because the survivors will likely just ban that already, considering this
yeah,
is what he's known for. So I would definitely be anticipating that Ripper. But, we could see anything. We could see another Sculptor, we could see a Bloody Queen, we could see a Naiad, we could see basically anything, as there are no Hunter bans to work with. We could see a Lizard.
I'm
Not the
hoping,
worst pick on this map.
hoping just for you. Your man.
Yep, for those of you who are new, I see we have a lot of new people who have joined the stream. I I want to see a lizard. I know that the chat is keeping up a little bit of lizard counter. How many times I will bring him, but I will find any excuse to bring him up.
I understand.
Um, and I think we should. I think that my goal, my goal is to fight for that vitality of the lizard. And so, yep, we are going to get the persona webs in.
Yeah.
Looks
And
like
it
we're
looks
going with, yeah, pretty standard as well again.
mhm. And it looks like we're gonna see that Enta with broken windows, and same with the Embalmer and Priestess, and it looks like that Gravekeeper is the only one holding on to that tide. Um, so I'm not really sure. I don't really play as much as I used to. Uh, Priestess and Broken Windows, the new carry right now. Which
Um,
is really interesting to me because she feels like one of those characters that feels just so much stronger when she brings Tide.
Yeah, it really depends on the team setup. Generally having that one rescue on the tide and leaving everybody else to keep up that containment has been what we've been
Mhm.
seeing in tournaments in that higher tier meta. And we're going to see a Bonbon coming out as that first hunter. Definitely not something that I anticipated.
No, not at
But
all.
very hard to sort of track these high tiers and who they play. So yeah, definitely a bit of an unprecedented pit, but Bonbon can be very strong in these walled areas as those bombs, traverse between those walls, able to just sort of cut off those survivors, make it harder for them to tight kite around those areas. Yeah, very strong pick. Very excited to see what we what will be in store for us.
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially because Bonbon, doesn't seem no matter where he's at, just has that strong presence with the timer bombs or just regular bombs, and even with his basic hit, chip hunters are definitely always such a great go-to.
And yep, we're going to see these survivors load into their waiting room. Um, yeah, definitely a really strong lineup. Definitely excited to see, you know, what these guys are capable of. That flywheel, or the lack of flywheel rather. a little, Flywheel's definitely been something that the new meta, new teams have been adjusting to, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Broken
I
Windows has been the go-to for these containers forever, and so
I
still a very valuable pick. And we're gonna see these spawn locations load in pretty quickly.
Yeah, it looks like we're kind of seeing roughly a similar lineup as LG Survivors had as well. We're just waiting to see. And looks like we had just a quick swap here. We're waiting for more of a arrowed in, just trying to pinch that bonbon in towards um, the two survivors that have the highest potential to carry a kite. It looks like
Mm-hmm.
we're going
Definitely.
to try and preserve that embalmer too, I think.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna be seeing, I would say possibly that entomologist as the first kite. Those bombs able to sort of dispose of the bees pretty quickly. Um, but we could see, possibly anticipating that rotation, ready to go for that embalmer. But nope, we are in fact going to see the guard 26 head right for that entomologist, kind of taking the exact same route as the hunter in the previous match.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this area is probably one of the strongest areas for a survivor to be in, just because it's super tight and there's enough pallets to pass you by. So it's definitely within best interest to make sure those pallets are gone as soon as possible. And it looks like we're seeing the entomologists rotate, but we did just lose the bees just a little bit there, and we just got nailed with a great bomb hit here.
Really strong bombs on the side of that one idiot. We're going to see those bees are back in action. Um, Taking a hit there, and yep, back on that cooldown. Almost gone, but still there, still able to be in play after another about 13 seconds. And oh, beautiful support portal there from the priestess. And as I was saying, priestess so strong in this hospital, able to support like that. And entomologist still staying steady at that one hit of chip damage. Oh, never mind. We're going to see a beautiful
Beautiful
chain bomb and a
fight.
beautiful blink from that one idiot. And the entomologist is going to be seeing the ground, and very, very shortly we'll be seeing that chair.
I was gonna say this is definitely a really great position for the priestess to be in. Perfect spawn location for her. Puts her right in the hospital and just available enough to set up just to make sure she has that extra support in.
Yep, and we will be seeing that the embalmer over there with wanted order on that persona web. So that one idiot knows exactly where he is. Placing bombs there, ready for that rescue, and just sort of keeping that pressure up on that cipher, making it very, very hard for the embalmer to decode without that risk of taking damage.
Yeah, it looks like we're anticipating an after half rescue here. Um, just enough to get those ciphers going. Uh, Definitely makes sense in the position that they're in, and with a hunter like Bonbon who can easily stall and can definitely just enough to even get a terror shock off of rescues. It's definitely something to anticipate.
Yep, it looks like we may actually be selling this entomologist on the chair, just focusing on pressuring those ciphers. Um, yeah, honestly, not the worst option. Entomologist didn't have a lot of bees left. And where the ciphers are right now, not the easiest thing to sort of keep her alive and continue with that cipher rush. But we're going to see a target switch to that Gravekeeper, missing that chip hit and still stuck in that Bonbon's extraordinarily long attack recovery as the Gravekeeper starts vaulting pallets and breaking that distance.
It was a beautiful bomb hit there coming off of the bonbon here. And
Oh,
beautiful hit there after that chain bomb.
yep, and we are going to see that Gravekeeper in a chair. This chair, one of the ones that, as a lot of chairs are in Sacred Heart, not very easy to rescue against, especially against a hunter like Bonbon, who can just sort of, lock off this entire area with the bombs, able to just prevent rescues, pressure the chair. But we are going to see that Priestess heading in, you know, and we're actually on one cipher remaining, and that Embalmer is ready to continue that decoding and pressure that cipher. Probably going to wait until after half for this rescue as well, as the Embalmer just continues to decode unbothered.
Yeah, I was definitely gonna say this is gonna take a lot of pressure coming off of both the bonbon and that priestess, especially just because priestess is not running 6, so we're gonna have to see some really great support coming off, and it looks like we are just missing that
Oh,
rescue.
yup, going to eat just one too many bombs, and that Priestess is actually going to be dropped here, and a switch to teleport to pressure that last cipher, make sure that the Embalmer cannot pop it.
Yeah, this is definitely some really great pressure coming off of the guard 26 here. Um, Especially just because we aren't on that last cipher, and even if the priestess is chaired, honestly, that cipher gets hit. Ooh, great hit through the pallet there, but it does seem like the embalmer has coffin up.
Will be interesting to see
Last
what the
cipher fell.
survivors do here,
I
because
agree.
Embalmer uses coffin. Yep, going to use the coffin, able to just leave the area, leave that chair, make sure the priestess doesn't have to come for the rescue. The priestess is still in the area, and the bonbon has already found that coffin, ready to just take down the embalmer as soon as he rebirths.
Great anticipation coming off of this guard 26 as the priestess was running towards the cipher. It looks like we might end up having to go find a new cipher to start, just because the anticipation that this one is almost finished is putting a lot of pressure on them.
Yep,
Oh,
pressuring both the has eyes on both survivors right now, actually. Pressuring this priestess over near the cipher, pressuring the embalmer over by the other cipher. Really, really great control by that one idiot, able to, just utilize Bonbon to his fullest potential. Guard 26's bombs able to, just be thrown very long distances, covering both of those ciphers. But the priestess
oh,
is going to continue goading as
beautiful.
the embalmer goes down, and another teleport, right back on that priestess, dropping those bombs. And yeah, we are looking. Yup, we are looking at a win situation for that one idiot. And yup, there is the surrender.
It's a beautiful four-man coming off of that one idiot here. Honestly, Bomb Bomb was definitely not my very most expected pick, but especially with a team composition like this, and definitely on a map like this, he was very strong here.
And it definitely goes to show that one idiot's skill with the bonbon. I'm not sure if you noticed, S, but that the switch to trump card and the presence of that confined space means that he actually wasn't carrying detention. So pressuring that last cipher was super, super important.
Oh, definitely.
Making sure that the survivors can't pop that last cipher, activate borrowed time, get that extra health when the guard 26 actually has none of that extra damage brought on by detention to work with. But we are going to look at the stats now. And pretty good kite by the entomologist to start us off, but unfortunately just wasn't enough to push us all the way.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The entomologist definitely had the strength to pull through with a better kite. It was there, but just not enough. And we're seeing some really great decoding coming off of how Balmer, about 250%, which is pretty strong considering how much pressure was put on both the survivors and the hunter here on the last one, just to get that primed, and it just wasn't enough. But honestly, excellent work coming off of this team.
hmm Yeah, really, really strong work on that one idiot for just to push the round in the favor of LG.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yep, so just going to wait a little bit for that next round to come on to us. But yeah, definitely excited to see what will come in the future rounds.
Hmm.
We will be seeing more bands in play. unable to utilize all of those hunters to that fullest potential, all those survivors, as more of the bands come through. And it could still go either way, even with
Yeah, I definitely agree. The cards are still up in the air. So there's still just enough time to see if Apocalypse can make that wonderful comeback here.
Yeah, and like we've seen, tournaments again and again, as those bans and picks go through, it really goes to test the versatility of those survivors, of those hunters, what else they have in their arsenal, who else will they pick. I do wonder if we could be seeing that Ripper in the later rounds from that one idiot, considering, he's kind of put those survivors in a place where either they're going to ban the Bonbon, which we know is, very, very strong, or are they going to ban that Ripper, which we know
Yeah.
that he has in his arsenal, or could we see, other hunters? And same on the side of Apocalypse as well, just a lot of things to look forward to in these future rounds.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It looks like we have a really good lineup and a really great matchup between survivors and hunters here. And it looks like we are subbing in Kate and subbing out Loki for Apocalypse's Hunter.
Yep, and we are going to see 2D4, who was the forward in the last match, on the side of LG, being subbed in for Clown. So, definitely we're going to see a bit of a lineup switch here for the second round. Clown definitely has a bit of a different lineup to utilize, Patient Main, Mercenary, so we could be seeing that coming into the second round as opposed to that forward.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It looks like we have a really great matchup here. Just the interchangeable characters, and from what we'll see from hunters and survivors, especially with these sub-ins, it'll definitely give us the anticipation of something new that we haven't seen yet. Um, Definitely coming from your clown, it's someone who primarily means a lot of hunters, really hunter survivors and harassers. It's definitely something to anticipate. I keep tripping over my words. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of time to work with here in between these matches. So yeah, I'm seeing the chat sort of question this graphic. I am also questioning the graphic. I was under the impression that LG was in the lead. This graphic is kind of saying otherwise. But we will see if that updates.
We're gonna
I'm
update
assuming
that.
that it will. Yeah. So yeah, we have gotten confirmation that the graphic will update with the correct score. But yeah. So for the record, LG is at the lead. After winning that second match with that one idiot as their hunter and succeeding in a single escape against in the previous match against Apocalypse. So yeah. Disregard that.
These things do
Yeah,
happen,
so
and I mean, the host is doing a wonderful job. It's also a little difficult when you're managing the screen and teams, so I definitely understand.
yeah, there's a lot of work being put in behind the scenes. Just a shout out to everybody there. Not sure if I'm allowed to say everybody's names, but we love you. Thank you so much for putting this together,
Mm.
organizing this for everyone, and just making sure everybody stays in line, shows up on time. These teams. Yeah, LG is winning right now. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna open the floor to the chat a little bit. What would your ideal just anything, disregard the teams, disregard what we've already seen. What would your ideal characters to see play in tournament? We already know who mine is, but I'm also going to ask S as well. Who do you want to see in the played in this? Oh, actually, you know what? Disregard that. We're going to see map picks now. Yeah,
We'll
so
answer
it
your
looks
question
like
later.
Lakeside has been banned once again, and we're going to be seeing. I am so sorry, I genuinely cannot tell which map that is.
I really can't either.
I think we
Give me
need some
one sec.
backup. Okay, that is Arms
I
Factory.
was
I haven't seen that image used before for Arms Factory, so I was a little bit thrown off guard. But
mm,
yeah, so we are going to be seeing Arms Factory. Definitely, a very strong map pick for those hunters.
it is
And
also
yeah,
a relatively small map, so we also have like a ton of room to see some very interesting characters, both survivor and hunter wise.
yeah, and it does look like there is love for Painter in the chat. Um, as expected. And we are also going to see, Emil, Luca. Um, yeah, I do, we could be seeing that prisoner coming up. We're almost definitely going to see that patient coming into play. Definitely moving up there in the meta. We're going to see a seer ban for our first ban. On the side of, I believe Apocalypse is going to be hunting. LG is going to be surviving. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No,
Um, but yeah, we are going to see the seer and the dancer are banned first. Definitely really, really strong um survivor bands to start us off.
it looks like we're locking in with the antiquarian. Perfect pit on LG's end, especially just because she gets that speed boost, she gets the distance, and she can stun. And she's definitely one of those characters to look out for in terms of stunning, just because she does bring something new to the table here. And it does look like we are getting the mercenary as a second choice, and we are losing both the female dancer mechanic and the psychologist here.
Yup, definitely very, very strong bands. Getting rid of, that really versatile potential of the female dancer as well as a lot of healing. And we are going to see the barmaid, I was about to say, in replacement of that psychologist, we're going to see the barmaid coming in to sort of fill in for that healing spot that the psychologist can also take up. Definitely one of the stronger survivors, and we've been seeing her a ton in tournaments as of late. Really brought in as a Dream Witch counter, which the survivors could be anticipating coming from this hunter.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, I feel like you and I had this conversation so much. I am definitely just such a Demi fan. The barmaid is one of my favorite characters, and she is my secondary main. She's one of those characters that's really, really great if you just know how to utilize her skills just enough. And it also looks like we are seeing that batter ban here on Apocalypse's side.
Yup, getting rid of that batter, and we saw in the first round how strong that batter can be in just that uh, harassment, able to just sort of hit the hunter again and again and again, not allowing those teammates to get picked up or put on chairs. So very strong ban. Just not wanting to deal with that today. Um,
Mm,
but yeah, we are going to see, yeah, we did have this conversation pretty extensively. Oh, we're going to see that Enchantress come in again as that last pick. So
perfect.
yeah, very, very strong team lineup. Definitely a lot of harassment in store.
And it does seem like LG did ban Clerk, in case anyone, if any of us missed that. Um, so it looks like we are definitely losing Clerk. She's definitely a really great pick on Arms Factory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know. I almost feel like we could be seeing a Dream Witch, very, very strong on Arms Factory. And that barmaid pick, I don't want to say definitely because barmaid is one of the strongest survivors that we have in the game. And also very, very strong on a map like Arms Factory with so many walls, so many pallets, able to just keep the hunter contained while she just keeps mixing her drinks and healing right back up. So just
Yeah.
a very strong pick. But we could be seeing a Dream Witch. We could be seeing that pick to counter the Dream Witch. She's one of the best Dream Witch counters in the game, and that Seer ban definitely could indicate that. But we're not sure. Can never quite be certain what the teams will have in store for us.
Um, to answer Etty's question in the chat, I'm not really sure if there are any characters past Ithaca who are banned from being played in the tournament. I believe possibly the composer, just because of how recently they both came out. But
Yeah,
if we
I
are
do.
following Call of the Abyss rules, it should be novelist, Ithaca, and composer.
Yeah, I'm actually going to check on this to see if there is anything.
I feel like I missed this.
But yeah, I am definitely curious to see if those survivors are picked. As far as I know, I believe any survivor is fair game, or any survivor and any hunter, as of, you know, obviously what has been released. But we are going to actually see the persona picks start to come in. It looks like we are going to see that flywheel back on the Enchantress. Barmaid is going to have broken windows. Mercenary obviously tied. I would hope that the mercenary would be bringing Tide. And the Antiquarian is also going to have that broken windows as well. So yeah, we are going to continue seeing that very, very standard lineup of 3 kiters, 1 Tide, just really focused on, you know, keeping the hunter occupied, not letting, you know, you only need 1 Tide if you only ever see 1 chair over the course of the match. So
I definitely
definitely keeping
agree.
that in mind.
I was gonna comment when you were laughing about the Merc bringing Tide. You know, unfortunately, I do see quite a few lately bringing Flywheel. So, you know, you always hope.
Yep, and we are going to see an Anne picked as our hunter. Definitely really excited for this. Really, really strong
I
on
love
Arms
her.
Factory, able to corner the survivors with her cats. Um, and yeah, definitely something that, you know, I was really hoping to see when S and I were talking before this, hoping to see that Anne come out.
Mhm.
So, yep, we are going to see LG on the side of survivors, Apocalypse on the side of the hunters. For this first round, or sorry, for the first round of the second round, first match of the second round. I'm going to stop talking now and hand the mic back over to S.
No, I totally understand. I'm definitely really excited to see this Disciple play. Especially because Arms Factory is such a wonderful map for her. It's small, it's close range, there's not a lot of like windows, and there's not a lot of like space or height for the survivors to get to. Height is definitely one of those counters against Disciple, unfortunately. So personally, I don't expect her to see her on maps like Leo's Memory or even Moonlight River.
Yeah, Moonlit River Park, you know, not really a map you would expect to see a disciple on. We are actually going to see that moving disciple profile picture on the side of the hunter.
She's so
Um,
precious.
so yeah, you know, definitely an and main in store for us as we sort of solidify those picks and enter the matching screen.
I'm super I'm super loving the comments about White Truffle. Well, she is beautiful. I don't know if anyone else knows this, but even in Call of the Abyss, White Truffle has this reputation of not beating any bad luck allegations. I don't expect her to really see her in tournaments just because of the quote unquote bad omen she brings. I
Yeah, it looks like we're actually going to see that Wilderness White C tier coming out. Please don't ask me how I know that. I don't know either. But yeah, and yep, we're going to head right into those spawn picks. And yeah, I would say we could be seeing, you know, that barmaid be our first chase, because everything I was talking about earlier, with, you know, that barmaid able to sort of keep up that containment, especially on a map like Arms Factory, you know, Disciple really counters that, able to just stop her in her tracks, countering that pallet camping potential. breaking that distance by jumping. So we could really be seeing that barmaid have a difficult time against that disciple, if she's unable to vault a window and get that broken windows off in time.
I was gonna say, I definitely agree. Obviously, we talk about how Barmaid is one of those stronger characters if played efficiently and to the point. But with a stunner just like the Disciple, she is one of those characters you definitely have to look out for.
Yep, and I was wrong. We're actually going to see the Enchantress be that first kite. Still, very, very solid pick for that first kite,
Mhm.
considering, can't really stun when you're already frozen in place. And oh, beautiful mind game on the side of the hunter there, able to, wait out that pallet stun, sort of psych out the Enchantress, and not able to get any sort of pallet dropping whatsoever once you are frozen with those cats.
Yeah, I mean, this is great play. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, oh,
Oh,
wow.
super clean coming off of that Enchantress. Just getting that block in with that palette. It's one of those harder things when it comes to playing her is like you always either get stuck with the palette or with the survivor. It's always very difficult to anticipate.
And yep, despite everything, we are going to see that Enchantress go down very, very quickly. Um, but the pretty good progress on those ciphers so far. Almost finished, not quite. But we will be seeing that Enchantress on her first chair.
Yep, it looks like the antiquarian and the barmaid both have their ciphers at about 70%. And that mercenary barely hitting 60 there, but he is going to run and start going for that rescue just because of the distance and how far away that the enchantress got chaired from everyone else.
Yep, definitely good to start that rescue off early, especially against a disciple, able to use those cats to just freeze you in place until that chair's already gone. So yeah, waiting it out, definitely still going to be over half, just because of the timing, distance on the map, all those things. And the mercenary really doesn't want to exhaust those resources just yet. He probably could have utilized all of those elbow pads, but why would you do that? It's a first chair. So yep, just gonna continue waiting it out, trying to wait out those cats. Doesn't really want to get caught in them. He's a cat himself. And actually, oh no, we are going to see the enchantress be sold on this chair. Mercenary deciding, not really worth it. This early in the
Yeah,
match, especially,
I
beautiful and counters her very, very directly.
yeah, I was gonna say this is definitely a really good choice coming off of the mercenary, just because unfortunately, with a rescue after half, you have a lot of room for trial and error, and just don't have those ciphers yet.
Yeah, but we are going to see, we could see this turn around. We've got two ciphers remaining. The barmaid already, off and running with that broken windows coming into play, and that Dublin already almost halfway done. And oh, a beautiful aim on
Oh,
those cats. And yep, exactly as I was
beautiful.
saying before, we are going to see that barmaid and the ground. Something that the
Yeah, I
survivors are becoming
mean,
very well acquainted with.
it's just so hard. Disciple is one of those harder counters against Barmaid. Just because unfortunately with the Doblin, it doesn't have the same room for error as stress on the psychologist does.
Yeah, and we're going to see that mercenary in the area again, baiting out those cats, waiting for them to dissipate so that he's not just frozen in place. Oh, and an elbow pad here, but still going to get frozen at that chair. Just briefly, is he going to be able to make that rescue before half? Oh, eating a terror shock actually to
Oh,
manage it. But that rescue, I do believe, was at a very, very nice 49%. So that barmaid will be seeing her second chair very shortly, but it will be a second chair and it won't be her final. Or she won't be taking off right away. It very well could be her final chair, though.
right. And we are back down to about one cipher here, and this cipher is almost there, honestly. Um, it really looks like we have the anticipation of maybe being able to get the barmaid off chair, but with the Merc going down, there's definitely just that trial and error factor here.
We're going to see that mercenary try and self-heal as quickly as humanly possible as the Antiquarian goes in for that rescue, pulling off a beautiful, beautiful stuns with that flute, locking off the Disciple's ability to attack. But those cats are still in play and able to get that barmaid down before the mercenary is able to even continue that cipher. Oh, and here he goes right back up on his feet, but unfortunately the barmaid died just too close to the chair for that Antiquarian to come back in and stun. Uh, but yeah, that cipher's almost prime, but Disciple ready and waiting to continue to pressure it. And oh, that cipher's actually going to pop before she
Oh,
can make it
beautiful
there.
pop.
And yep, we're going to see us entering the end game now with the Antiquarian well on her way to one of the gates while that chase continues. Looks like the Disciple possibly trying to, find that either the Mercenary or the Antiquarian before it's too late. But not quite in the right area to do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, this does leave room for the disciple to decide on which gate to go towards. It looks like everyone's more so turning towards front gate, and unfortunately, with the decoding debuff, it looks like the antiquarian just got the gate open.
Oh, but still able to. And oh, it looks like wow.
Oh,
Absolutely beautiful.
beautiful.
The mercenary able to clutch that dungeon with the delayed damage, able to take a full hit, uh,
It's
and
definitely
not
a
go
great
down right
strategy
away.
there, especially because
Yeah,
mercenary can take that double hit. It looks like there was a lot of anticipation about that, and I think, a lot of hope in getting the gate open on the antiquarian, just because she does have, unfortunately, that 30% debuff. Just like,
yeah, definitely not the best choice to leave on the gate, but between her and the mercenary, which one's more likely to get dungeon? Probably the guy who can take a full detention hit and not really
exactly.
sweat it. So beautiful, beautiful work on the side of LG once again. Um, Yeah, really just, baiting out that end game. Uh, really, Disciple not pressuring that gate right away. Kind of a nail in the coffin for her, but absolutely beautiful end game play. Would have been for sure three-man victory on her side if she'd really gone after any found any survivor other than that mercenary.
Yeah. Um, well, looks like we aren't going to get the end of match results, which is okay. I mean, I think we anticipated the results at the end anyways. It looks like the Antiquarian did a lot of the decoding on the behalf of her team, so
Yep, and we are going to see that those stats have been fixed. Thank you so much to our
oh, I
wonderful
really
team.
appreciate it.
And we are going to see that as of right now, yeah, we are in, 2-2 situation. But, anything could happen going into that third round.
Yeah, I'm super, super excited.
Yep, well, we're actually going to see the second round first. And yeah, we still need to see what that one idiot will bring to the table in terms of that hunting.
Mm.
Yeah, what do you think we have in store for us, S?
Just because of, the discussion we had prior, I'm still really hoping to see that, that the Ripper being played, and it looks like Bones does have to leave for a little bit, so it is. But I'm really anticipating working. Yeah, that is predominantly someone that I know that me. And then it looks like we are seeing the female dancer and the seer band coming on LG's behalf. Definitely really, really picks coming in here. Um, I mean, those two are very predominantly strong when it comes to teamwork and team play, especially the female dancer with the ability to piss and her slow and fast debuff. Debuff buff.
Yeah, we are going to see, you know, just these bans filtering in, and yeah, as you were saying, Dancer, very, very good ban. Really strong on this map as well. Able to place those boxes. Saw some really interesting stuff in Call of the Abyss actually with those box placements. On Arms Factory in particular, able to hide them really, really effectively, especially in the factory area. So definitely a really good ban. And we are going to see that Clerk banned once again.
Yeah, I mean, Clerk on Arms Factory is definitely one of those harder characters to knock. She's got the range.
Yep, and we're going to
Um,
see identical picks in that Antiquarian and that Mercenary. Definitely really, really good choices. Obviously, we've just seen how well they can be utilized really in any match, but especially, on this map. Antiquarian, a really, really effective kiter. Able to use that flute in all of the tight areas that this map has to offer. And the Mercenary, obviously, great pick.
I
Can take
definitely
that
agree.
damage, can take a detention hit. Oh, and we're going to see the Acrobat and the Mechanic as our next two bans.
Yeah, I'm really anticipating these. With the rise of how everything has been, I'm not really that surprised about the acrobat ban here. Just because even though they have nerfed him to hell and back, he is still one of those characters that is just very strong. So with a ban like that, I really am anticipating a Ripper play here, because Mike's bombs, they definitely a really great counter against Doggy.
Yeah, and yet we're going to see that Entomologist come out. Definitely, hoping to see some B action in terms of blocking all of those areas that you can block on this map, within the factory, within the walls, within the shack. Really, really good map for her, especially in that central area with well, it used to be 3 pallets, now it's only 2. But still able to use those bees to block off a wall and create sort of a third blockade.
Right. I miss that third palette so
I
badly.
don't, I'm a hunter main. I'm
I'm a
so glad they
survivor
got rid of
main.
that third pallet.
Um, but I mean, even that palette down, it gives so much room for trial and error. You know how many that palette instead of rescuing way too many.
Yeah, definitely sort of a double-edged sword there. But yeah, just waiting on that last pick on the side of Apocalypse. Oh, actually, no, we're sorry, waiting for that last Survivor ban. We're going to see the Prospector be put in the corner, never to return.
Goodbye,
We
Norton.
haven't seen him yet, actually.
Fucking bye.
But definitely, we've been seeing a lot of him in the tournament, or in tournaments in general. Really,
Yeah.
really strong coming into, the sort of distance building harassment meta, of
Yeah.
the modern day.
I mean, again, I feel like we're setting up really, really well for uh a Ripper play here, honestly.
Yeah, oh, and yep, we are going to see that Gravekeeper come in as well. Again, really effective rescue, though, having 2 rescues on a team can either make or break you. Um, and yeah, to be fair, Gravekeeper doesn't have as severe of a decoding debuff, only 15%, still able to make
Yeah.
good time on those ciphers. And definitely sort of anticipating, needing that second rescue. Coming out of that first round where not a lot of rescues were successfully pulled off on the side of Apocalypse, uh, anticipating, having to do that this time.
Hmm.
Bringing in slightly, tankier characters able to, carry that tide and not really suffer for it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Especially just because the Gravekeeper does have that wonderful balance of being able to decode without really much stress. Just because unfortunately, compared to most of our other rescuers, he just outdoes them in that category.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's actually interesting because depending on the point in the match, later in the game, First Officer can be really effective in terms of decoding because with every use of that pocket watch, adding, I believe an extra 7% decoding, and I believe he also only starts off with a 15%, so kind of negating that by the end of the match. But that's It's sort of more of what we've seen, going into Call of the Abyss in Japan,
Yeah.
less so in NAU. So, possibly next year we could be seeing maybe a little bit more first officer in the meta. I know he's a little bit of a fan favorite. Um, so yeah, we could very well be seeing that future. But for now, we still have our classical Gravekeeper, um, classical Mercenary, and a little bit of that new meta as well, with the Antiquarian, with the Entomologist. And yep, we're getting our Persona webs in right now. Yep, as I expected, we got those 2 tides on our 2 rescuers, Mercenary tide, Gravekeeper tide, and then our Antiquarian and our Entomologist are both bringing broken windows.
Yeah. I mean, definitely have no complaints here. I mean, I feel like this is actually really balanced in terms of just the amount of tide and the amount of broken windows we do have on the team. Really interesting to see that. I think even from the last match, Apocalypse hasn't really put Flywheel into place. More so just in the fact that it's something new, and like you said, if it's not broken, then don't fix it. And honestly, broken windows is definitely 100% the way to go.
Yeah, we're actually going to see a bit of a mirror pick in that Anne coming out.
Interesting. You know what? It does make a lot of sense too, especially with the prospect of the acrobat ban here. I mean, works for Ripper ban, but also the disciple ban banning them. It just makes a lot of.
I think I'm going to give up hope on that Ripper. I feel like we're not going to be seeing that today.
I
But,
know.
Anne,
I
obviously
know.
very strong pick. We've just seen her in the previous match, utilized to her full potential on this Arms Factory. Well, almost full potential, but, with, with those cats, again, even against the team composition as strong as this, uh, you know, we will be able
Yeah.
to see her skills used to their greatest potential. So very, very excited to see us going into this.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Oh, looks like we're swapping out our disciple for an axe boy.
Oh,
Oh, Bobble. Wonderful choice. It's gonna be feels like more of an interesting choice in the aspect of the team composition here. But I mean, he is one of those double hit hunters. You don't really have to worry about to both the mercenary and the gravekeeper here.
and definitely really, really strong on Arms Factory. One of those maps that, it's small, able to sort of keep all your trees in line, uh, keep everybody within the radius of those trees. Just really, really able to utilize, especially through those walls, with the soul hits. With a bit of good prediction, that goes a long way. So we should be seeing those spawns come in pretty shortly, while everything gets in line. But yeah, definitely really excited to see what that one idiot brings us with that Axe Boy, especially, with how strong a lot of those bombs were in the first round. I have a feeling, very good at sort of aiming those soul hits. We could be seeing some pretty nasty snipes coming into this match.
Right. I'm really excited about that. I mean, honestly, I'm horrendously easily impressed when it comes to Axe Boy. I one of the hardest characters that I've ever tried to pick up. Honestly, every time I see a really great snipe coming off of those souls, I'm 100% like always on your side, like immediately impressed by it.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to see that Forgotten Boy skin coming in, kind of a, you were talking about skin luck before. We've seen a lot of, top axe boys utilizing this skin, so, maybe it has some superstition attached to it as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
But yeah, definitely. Also, a bit of a personal favorite. Very excited to see that mercenary wearing the shark skin, with the tail. There is something so charming about those mismatched accessory deals, especially with the mercenary who gets so many animal skins. Um, Able to use, sort of offset it with that tail. And yeah, they do have very good usernames. I'm seeing in the chat compliment the Dua Flip, that one idiot. Yeah, we've got some fun stuff going on here, and we're going to see the spawns come in now. Who do you think our first chase is going to be while we wait for that one idiot to put the Axe
You know what?
Boy on the field?
I fully anticipate that antiquarian facing straight away, honestly. And I totally apologize if you can hear all the barking in the background.
That's fine. And yeah, it looks like either we're anticipating a rotation or we could be seeing possibly the entomologist being the first kite. A little bit interesting considering that the bees do block those soul hits from coming in, but you know, we could be seeing some rotation happen. It's really anybody's first chase, and especially with a hunter like Axeboy able to get that double hit in from basically the first moment of the match. Could be seeing anything.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited for this anticipation here. And it does look like we are going towards deep sandbags, right where that gravekeeper is. Honestly, getting those shovels quick, easy out of the way, especially with an axe boy, simple, easy, um, great presence off of him.
Yeah, that is the one drawback of that gravekeeper. You know, that shovel, it's a free hit. And it wastes time, but when utilized in the proper way by the hunter, oh, and a beautiful snipe, getting that gravekeeper already down to half health and that axe boy up to that first presence right away.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful work by that one idiot.
Yes, and I do want to at least acknowledge it. The gravekeeper, while in shovel, honestly did such a wonderful juke there.
Ooh.
Ooh. Unfortunately, that pallet speed is just not going down far fast enough. Unfortunately, that is one of the knockbacks. Not really being able to run 369 anymore, especially because pallet speed is something that is usually combined within.
Yeah, but yep, we're going to see a very, very fast chair there for that gravekeeper. Um, and yeah, that one idiot coming around looking for a new target. Almost making too much distance here, but keeping an eye on those ciphers, ready to pressure them. Almost, and yeah, it is going to be an after half rescue, but that entomologist is on her way to the chair.
Honestly, without as much distance as you can get when you're playing Ass Boy, I really don't think it matters as much just because he is one of those characters that just has the distance in him. He has just a set of about like 3 speed boosts on him. Like, he's definitely one of those hunters to look out.
A beautiful, very clean rescue from the entomologist. Beautiful work there with the bees as well. Um, Used right there to prevent that soul hit from going off if it had been attempted. Just taking the basic hit and yep. But we are going to see that gravekeeper hit out of his shovel here, still at 4 ciphers remaining. And the mercenary revealing that there's not much progress made on the cipher that he moved to, but the antiquarian about to bring us down to 3 ciphers. So a dungeon escape will be possible if it comes down to it. But oh, a beautiful blink on the side of that one idiot, and Gravekeeper will be seeing the ground once again.
It looks like we have just lost the Gravekeeper. We are slowly moving towards the middle. The entomologist did get healed up in time enough to anticipate the rotation coming off of the Robbie here. Um, Honestly, there's still enough time just to get these ciphers done, and it looks like we are overlooking the entomologist and heading straight towards the antiquarian here.
Yeah, just trying to avoid that middle area, not really wanting to get caught there. But ooh, a beautiful
Beautiful.
beautiful knockback from that antiquarian. But yeah, the chase will continue into the shack. Great uses of his stick there as well to vault over the window. And heading into this triple pallet area, very, very strong area for this antiquarian to continue the chase. Oh, almost hitting Robbie into that wall, but not quite.
Was a beautiful hit coming off of the Boy there. It definitely pushes the antiquarian to have to transition here, and he just missed the snipe of that soul just enough. But unfortunately, this antiquarian is what I call a dead zone, which is not enough to aid a kite at all here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and we are going to see her on that chair, but it looks like those ciphers are making really, really good progress here. Um, but yep, Mercenary probably going to come in for that rescue.
Actually, I believe the entomologist is going for the rescue, leaving the mercenary with the prime cipher, who
Yep,
unfortunately is transitioning away just because he is getting chased at the current moment here.
yep, forcing that Mercenary off of that cipher, off the Prime cipher, I should say. And oh, just barely missing that. And oh, able to get the hit in before the Mercenary is able to fully elbow pad away and just going to focus his attention right back on that cipher, knows it's Prime, knows it's ready and waiting, and just wanting to keep this pressure up on the survivors before they're able to enter the endgame.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the pressure that these survivors are putting on to the ciphers here. Really leaving the axe boy up into interpretation of which cipher is, um, more primed or worth going towards. It looks like the Merc is unfortunately inhibited by this pop. So
Ooh!
unfortunately, we just got nailed with the soul and then hit immediate down.
Yep, beautiful, beautiful double hit there, able to just land that soul and that hit at almost the same time. Unable to pop that cipher, definitely depending on the mercenary's ability to tank that damage, but against the double hit hunter like the Axe Boy, a little bit harder to pull that off, especially in such close quarters.
Yes,
Just getting in the way of that soul and unable to pop the cipher in time.
it does look like the entomologist is going for that rescue there, and it's right before half. We do have the antiquarian unfortunately priming that cipher, so we still have the anticipation of whether or not Team Mercenary and oh, great pop coming off of the antiquarian.
Yup, still focusing right over on that mercenary, not wanting him to get away. But he still has two elbow pads to utilize, and, well, one elbow pad to utilize now that he's already broken some of that distance. But, yeah, definitely, not an ideal situation for this Axe Boy if he wants anything more than a tie. And, oh, just missing that hit. Mercenary able to get the elbow pad off, but landing the Soul
Oh,
Snipe. So unless he's able to make his way to dungeon, which unfortunately with no elbow pads left to utilize, he will not be. And this will be a draw for that one idiot and the side of LG.
perfect, perfect. That was actually a really wonderful match. There was enough pressure coming off of both parties here. Honestly, very well executed, and I, I don't know, I've thoroughly enjoyed this match. And
Hmm.
then, I mean, if we look at the data, there's a lot of decoding coming off of the antiquarian, and we also have just wonderful kites coming off of everyone here too.
Yeah, really, really good on the side of Apocalypse, able to just sort of keep that pressure up, not and still allowing them to pull off that draw, even with the Gravekeeper going down almost right away. Able to still get that rescue off, still get that rebound kite in, enough for even the Mercenary to get over 200% decoding. So that really speaks to the skill of these survivors, able to
Mhm.
pressure all the way up until that pop.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
So yeah, scores should be coming in shortly. But I do believe we will be heading to a third round with the way that things are
Mhm.
shaping up. Yep, definitely having that in the cards here, so we could be seeing,
Yeah,
maybe we'll see a lizard in that third round.
I was just gonna say, what about a perfumer? I haven't been able to bring her up yet, but if you know me, I am a huge perfumer fan. Unfortunately, she doesn't break the meta like she used to, but I have my biases.
Definitely really able to be utilized on some of these maps. And, we've seen some beautiful perfumer work in Call of the Abyss in tournaments. Uh, able to even hold her ground, not even, even though she's kind of fallen out of the meta, even though the meta focuses more around, why take that hit at all if you're just able to not get hit?
Mhm.
Sort of avoiding the hunter building that presence off of you. But, especially last year with Sun Sisters, genuinely one of the most memorable matches with a perfumer kite there in Call of the Abyss. So, still
Definitely.
definitely a viable pick, even if a little bit, out of the general rotation. But yeah, we could be seeing some really interesting stuff. I do believe, if I check my notes very quickly, um, yeah, Apocalypse does have a possible former perfumer main on their team, so we could be seeing that. There's never a 0% chance of seeing a survivor or a hunter. There's always, wild cards that can be pulled out at the last minute, especially as the bands ramp themselves up.
Yeah, and I mean that's one of the things that I definitely like love about indie tournaments. You don't really have to follow what's perfect for every competition overseas and everything. Indie tournaments are just places where you can showcase your skill and like the love you have for these characters and for the game. So honestly, I'm really really excited to see like where everyone comes from.
Yeah, and I mean, in the previous round, we were seeing Weeping Clown, we were seeing Lawyer, we were seeing these, crazy picks, and some of them actually worked out. Like the Weeping Clown was very effective in his matches. Definitely, not a pick that we see very often, and one of those picks where it's like, why are you picking that guy? But I'm watching the lizard counter ramp up. And yeah, we could see a Joseph.
Everyone
We
wants.
could see we could see anything. I believe, yeah, they should be getting, 2 hunter bans, so there will be less options to choose from.
Mhm.
So yeah, chances are low but never zero. Though it does really depend on the map. If they pick Moonlit River Park, I don't believe we'll be seeing a Joseph. I
No.
For the sake of the photographer himself, I would hope that we do not see a Moonlit River Park photographer.
Just for the sake of the man himself, because it's such a huge map, and there's just unfortunately that balance that some characters have to have. The size of maps. Uh, and speaking of maps, what are some maps you'd like to see that we haven't really seen yet?
Uh Leo's memory.
I was just gonna say the same thing, despite popular belief.
Oh, it looks like we are actually going to see a return to our first hunter from Apocalypse. So
Ooh.
we are going to see Loki return. Yeah, it definitely changes up what we could be seeing.
Mhm.
We could be seeing that photographer. We could be seeing a violinist.
We
We could be
could
seeing a
be,
Bloody
yeah.
Queen. But information very, very limited. Not really sure what we could be seeing from these hunters coming into the final round.
It looks
But yeah.
like, yeah, it looks like the map we are going to be seeing is, I believe that is Ever Sleeping. Um, Honestly, one of my favorite maps too. Uh, it definitely has a lot of balance on it, and I just think how wide it is really great for both sides.
Yeah, definitely a really, really balanced map. A lot of good areas. Definitely, looking at a priestess ban, looking at, potentially a merc ban with how valuable he's been in these last couple rounds. I would be surprised if he
Mhm.
wasn't banned, even if, Mercenary is one of those funny things where even if he's not the biggest threat on the field, even if you're like, yeah, I could take him, like he's still annoying. He will never not be annoying.
Oh, for sure.
So when you're given the opportunity to take him off the table, generally better to just let that
Get him
happen
running
rather
out of.
than dealing with a last minute dungeon escape because not going to fall to that detention hit right away. But yep, we're gonna head right into it. Third round, LG versus Apocalypse. And yeah, so we could Oh, yep, that priestess being banned
Yeah,
definitely
like
definitely a good choice for this map. Those buildings are
100%.
not a joke.
Especially that back corner by the gate there. Definitely a perfect spot for that priestess to loop. And it does seem like we are seeing a female dancer and a seer ban. Honestly, the female dancer ban, unfortunately, I would love to see her. But just because with the height of the map, and she does get that speed boost when she vaults out of high places, it's just not feasible on a map like Eversleep.
And we're going to see that Antiquarian out to play yet again. And the Mercenary! Yup, able to slip past that first round of bans and back to play. Definitely, interesting choice to ban the Seer over him. Definitely understand that, Seer's such a valuable support. And we saw in I believe it was one of the very first rounds in the previous matchup, Seer actually was able to extend a kite long enough to bring a 3-man victory to one of the teams in the first round just with the single owl. So definitely, really valuable support. And good to take off the field while you still can, but still allowing that mercenary through, that could be the difference between, a 3-man win and a draw. Just able to take those hits, able to just keep on running, and those elbow pads, especially on a map like Ever Sleeping, a lot of straight areas where the mercenary can just fly right through.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And to answer the question in the chat, I'm not sure if there was a map banned. It does seem like it was just ever sleeping up on the graphics for
Yep,
us.
round 3 actually does not have a banned map, so
Really?
there's no
Okay,
options to sort of lock that off.
perfect. And it does look like we are getting a clerk ban and we are seeing a Dreamwitch ban. Dreamwitch on Ever Sleeping does really hit hard. Definitely on a map like Ever Sleeping, there's a lot of anticipation. If you just stand right with the main body right in the open, you can get any leash in any position that you would like.
Definitely a map that's very good to ban her on. Oh, and we're going to see the Acrobat out with a Forward and a Toy Merchant ban. Definitely really smart bans on that part. Forward, great harasser. And we're going to see that Mechanic ban yet again. So really just not looking for a draw here, looking for all or nothing as we wait for that final survivor pick. But Acrobat, really, really strong on a map like Ever Sleeping. A lot of low areas can't quite jump over, but those bombs can just catapult him right over.
Yeah, and I was gonna
Well, the hunter
say,
can't jump over them unless they're playing the lizard.
True. I was gonna say, with the increase of not banning Chishie, I really feel like there is that anticipation of both hunters from both teams going, I'm not scared of you. Especially
Mm-hmm.
she is one of those characters that usually does get banned instantaneously. So, and it does look like we are getting that final of Dress, which honestly, this whole tournament so far, it's day one, but honestly, seeing all these patties really, really making my heart full. I love her so much.
Yeah, definitely really exciting to see her. And yeah, really interesting point in that, there aren't a lot of respect bans here going for just hard what they don't want to see rather than countering the teams themselves. But yep, we are going to see the Persona web start to come in. We've got the Mercenary obviously with Tide, Antiquarian with Flywheel, and Chances with Flywheel. So we are going to see that Flywheel come into play while the Acrobat still has broken windows. And we're going to see a Sculptor this round.
I'm really, really excited to see the sculptor gameplay. She's definitely one of my favorites. Especially on a map like Ever Sleeping, there's so many tight spaces, just enough to get in that the sculpture hits there. Um, Lots of areas for survivors to bounce.
Yup, and it looks like we are going to see. Yeah, that sculptor probably able to be utilized to her full potential. A lot of small areas, the covered areas, even the graveyard, Graveyard obviously can go either way, but with a map like Ever Sleeping, a lot of areas to just kind of get trapped in those statues. Really, really strong map for her, and definitely a really strong pick.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, but it looks like we
Really?
will be seeing LG file into that survivor side.
Mm.
So yeah, definitely, they're able to continue with their Antiquarian, with their Enchantress, uh, with that Mercenary, just keeping it up.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And when given the opportunity to not break it, then there doesn't need to be any fixing.
Exactly. Honestly, I'm really excited. It's my favorite part about tournaments is always watching the hunter's perspective. So I always learn something new. And I always feel like my favorite matches are watching. She's definitely one of those stronger hit characters, and against that Merc, she easily could knock him down.
Yeah, definitely. We should be seeing some really interesting stuff. But yep, Acrobat, we're getting to the map, the spawn picks, and Acrobat over in the graveyard, kind of alone, but Antiquarian in the area, Enchantress in the area. And we are going to see the Hunter spawn over on the other side of the map. So S, where do you think they're gonna go?
Um, so with the direction that the Galatea chose, there's obviously the very easy interpretation that she will just go straight towards the middle. Um, or my favorite thing that they do is literally get on the tram from spawn just to get towards the front of the map easily without having to.
Yeah, we could be seeing some rotation come into play here. I don't know, definitely a lot of options, but we're gonna head right into it, and yep, it looks like we are going to be heading right for the Antiquarian,
Mm,
over on the side of the map, leaving the other survivors free to decode. But a little bit of camera action here, kind of hiding where she's coming from for a brief moment, but the chase is on, and oh, we're going to see a very early chip hit. Yep, right in one of these areas that is just so, so good to get stuck in, at least from the
yeah, I
sculptor's perspective. Probably not from
definitely
her perspective,
agree.
though.
Just a little bit early on that hit there, but with how the sculptor's hitbox can be,
Ooh.
nice knockback coming out from the antiquarian, and a beautiful hit there.
Yeah, able to sort of bait out that stick and not really catching it. But oh, and a drop down here with the Antiquarian, very much expecting the sculptor to go all the way around. And wow, oh, utilizing the stick almost a little bit like an acrobat bomb. And oh, dodging it yet again. Really, really great predictions from the sculptor until, catching that stick right in the face, getting into the wall. A lot of really
Yeah, I
strong mind
mean,
gaming here from both the hunters and the survivors trying to sort of outplay each other heading into this final round.
yeah, I definitely agree.
Ooh.
Oh, beautiful blink coming off of this sculptor here, and it puts her right in a perfect position. Is there forcing?
Yep, forcing let's see. Yep, we're going to see that so that graveyard come up, pressuring the Merc, calling him in to pull off this rescue. While the ciphers continue to get decoded. Yep, two of them are already popped. Dungeon escape is possible if it comes to that. Worst case scenario, obviously. We will see if this mercenary manages to get it before half, and we've already got the Enchantress in the area ready to sort of start collecting those stuns, ready to harass.
Yeah, oh, beautiful last effort hit coming off of the sculptor for the antiquarian. Honestly, for someone who immediately wants to get your number one problem out of the match, it's such a great first chase coming off of her. Um, oh, beautiful stun coming straight from
Ooh.
this enchantress. Unfortunately, you just can't get that body block in space.
Just really, really masterful knowledge of that sculptor hitbox, able to just completely bypass the enchantress and knock that antiquarian right down. We are going to see that graveyard come up again on the mercenary, able to get that chip in, uh, leaving that mercenary not really in a great position to start the latter half of the match. Oh,
No,
and here
not at
come the
all.
statues. And we're going to see that Enchantress continue to pressure the chair, but managing to dodge all of the statues. And oh, really unfortunate that the Enchantress unable to get that body block again, but probably still going to stay in the area, ready to harass while those ciphers just keep on decoding.
It does look like
Ooh.
oh, beautiful hit coming in from the antiquarian there, and nice body block coming from the enchantress. It does seem like the sculptor, yep, is trying to go straight for that mercenary, knocking him straight down with that last statue.
Yep, just trying to get that last chip in there. Very successful in doing so. But we are at one cipher remaining, and it does look like the sculptor is just going to commit to that mercenary. We see the combination ping coming in there of where the hunter has changed target, because indeed she has. And yeah, acrobat in the area ready to rescue, but this is going to be from the basement. So a little bit of an added challenge there, but yeah, it
And,
appears that these survivors are going to be healing, but the sculptor does have wanted orders, so able to sort of flush them out of hiding with that graveyard.
so it does seem like the acrobat, well, while the sculptor is in her graveyard position, is more so going to focus on that cipher. Wonderful firebomb coming off of, but it's nearly getting into the basement there, and it just doesn't seem like that rescue is going to connect on that on his behalf.
Yeah, and that chip graveyard coming up again to pressure the antiquarian off the cipher that she has newly started. Mercenary continues to sit on chair, acrobat unable to rescue with the damage that he's taken. And it looks like that mercenary may very well just sit there until he expires and is sent right back to the manor. Really, really great end game starting up here from that sculptor. Great cipher pressure, able to just, keep it up. But it looks like we may attempt to see a last second rescue, but that mercenary is going to take off right in time.
Mm.
Oh no!
Oh.
And yep, that is sort of an occupational hazard of ever sleeping as a map. That tram, everyone's favorite MVP coming in to just sort of disrupt the kiting, managing to take out both the antiquarian and the sculptor. And the cipher is actually going to pop right now, allowing these survivors to pressure those gates as the antiquarian is sent back to the manor. Really no other choice but to pop it then, to give these survivors their best possible chance at even just securing one escape.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely worth popping right there as the antiquarian is getting there. It just seems like we are in a little here with the acrobat opening the gate just because he has that 30% debuff, and it just comes with the anticipation of if or if not the enchantress can get that hatch. Um, Unfortunately, it does seem like the gate is only about half open. Uh, just because the debuff is just super detrimental, and unfortunately, the enchantress is down.
And oh, just the teleport 1 second too late. Enchantress coming in clutch with those two absolutely beautiful 3 stacks. And oh, just crawling her way to the open dungeon. Will the sculptor be able to make it back in time?
Oh,
Oh no!
beautiful, beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful work by those survivors at the end. Just just able to sort of, you know, play a little bit of mind games, a little bit psychological warfare, getting that gate
Mm.
open, but with the sculptor still thinking that she has just a little bit of a chance. to cut off that gate, but unfortunately that was the difference between a 3-man and a tie, and the survivors did very well clutch. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful work from LG, able to just secure that end game. Even when all seemed lost, beautiful cipher pop, beautiful gate pressure, and
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, just great work on with that sticker as well.
right. Guys, stickers save lives. I'm so serious. I used to be like the person who would never bring it. Like we need that. Honestly, it was just like beautiful in that they took something that probably was going to be a 3-man into a tie, and honestly, the Enchantress did put up like a lot of good work on keeping the sculptor just distracted just enough for the acrobat to open the gate.
Yup, and it looks like we are going to continue with round 3. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe if I'm doing my math correctly, I believe that if that one idiot can secure anything above a draw in his match, we will be seeing LG in a winning this matchup. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Oh, okay. Update. Hunter needs to 4K in order to
Okay. You know,
win.
makes a lot of sense.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
we
Apocalypse needs a 4 escape to win. If in the event that that one idiot is able to eliminate any of the survivors, we will be seeing LG win. Math was not my strong suit. Math has never been my strong suit. I am a commentator for a reason.
it
Um,
was mm, mm. I dropped out of math. I can't speak here.
yeah, but all right. Yep. So really, really good situation for LG in this case. Maybe, hey, maybe we will see that Ripper, or we could see a Lizard going
You
into this
know
final
what?
round.
You're right.
Hey, you
You're right.
only need one escape. That one idiot. If you happen to be listening to the commentary right now, it would be really cool if you played a Lizard. Just saying, just throwing that out there. Please expect this in future rounds that I commentate. Um, but yeah, honestly, not the worst pick on a map like Ever Sleeping. Even with those areas that are kind of inaccessible to the Lizard, you know, still able to utilize those higher areas. Some really good stuff can be done on the stairs, but I will be quiet now because we are going to head into the bans and picks.
Worries. So I'm really interested to see what bands and what Survivor and Hunter picks we're gonna see, especially in a toss-up, just like Ever Sleeping. Honestly, it could be anyone's game after this point. Um, slowly waiting for those bands to slowly get in, but I'm super excited to see what we have coming up.
Yeah, it looks like yep, none of those bans coming in just yet. I'm about to eat my words. But yeah, definitely looking at a priestess ban. May or may not be looking at a mercenary ban. But yeah, definitely anticipating that priestess, possibly anticipating that seer once again. Yeah, and we will. Yep, there's the priestess. There's the priestess, and
Yeah,
and
here.
a seer. Maybe I'm the real seer.
I hate to see girl bosses win.
And oh, finally seeing that antiquarian enter the ban list, really just not wanting to deal with her yet again. But yeah, I'm going to see those first couple of survivor picks appearing on the screen momentarily. Um, possibly, possibly a mercenary once again. Maybe we'll see that perfumer that we've been looking for.
God, I hope.
Definitely not a first pick though. They will not be lucky in the perfumer first. That would be a last pick if anything.
Mhm.
But hey, never 0% chance.
It's just anticipating on the last 3 bands on side, especially coming in with the 2 hunter bands that's gonna come from Apocalypse here. It really, like I said, is up in the air. It's anyone's game. Um, honestly, I really am kind of hoping for a Naiad play. I know people are asking for her adjustments. She is strong and beautiful. Honestly, with a map like it just goes so far.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good areas for the Naiad, able to just lock off huge parts of the map, and on a map as small as Ever Sleeping, um, just able to lock off multiple ciphers at once. Really, really great potential heading into this final round. But yeah, we could be seeing anything. Definitely, Mercenary hasn't been banned. Definitely hoping to see that from the Survivor side.
Mm,
Um, it's a really strong pick all the time. And as I said in the last match, allowing him out that front door generally means that uh, maybe we should be expecting him, probably.
yeah, for sure.
But we could be seeing anything.
Um, I mean, past obviously our lizard and our perfumer. What are some other characters you're interested in seeing in this last matchup here for the moment?
I mean, considering it's that one idiot hunting, I would like to see that Ripper,
I
able to be
definitely
utilized
agree.
on this map. We could. It's never zero, never zero. But yeah, definitely hoping to see that. Still hoping on that perfumer. And oh, it looks like we have been seeing some swaps on the side of APS. We are seeing Mechon sub in, possible mechanic. Again, Apocalypse has been keeping a lot of their information very, very under wraps, so there's not much that we can predict other than just, classical, what would be good in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely a change on the Survivor lineup. No longer going to see AMR. So no more Grassy, no more Harasser, no more Forward. So definitely a little bit of a change on the side of APS.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see Mechon sub in here, just because you're right, a lot of Apocalypse is very much of mystery to both of us here. Um, despite how much we've tried looking, they are teams that are very secretive and very to not a bad thing at all. That's very common, more so coming from higher tier players. So I totally understand. And it looks like we are finally seeing our first female dancer of the guy. At least I believe so. I'm super excited.
Yup, and
Merging right
alongside that
up.
Prospector, definitely really, really strong picks heading into this final round. Dancer finally
Mhm.
being allowed out. And on a map like this, so many places to put those boxes, especially in that graveyard, really, really can be effective in all of these tight kiting areas that are present on Ever Sleeping, and also able to use them with that well, not exactly new anymore, but with the Dancer's most recent buff, she's able
Yeah.
to sort of spin kind of like a little built-in elbow pad. Just able to use those boxes to transition, and of course the Prospector, who we've been really seeing coming up in the meta as of late. And oh, we are going to see, it looks like a Clerk ban, and is that a Wax Artist ban?
It is. I mean, honestly, seeing a West Side ban, especially on a place like Ever Sleeping, I'm not very shocked. In all defense, he is one of those hard characters that in an open area, you just can't beat him. And coming for survivor bans, we are losing our mercy mandatory. Um, you know what? Really interesting choices coming from these survivor bans. I can understand the toy merchant ban just because of the distance and the height that she can get, especially on such a big map, ever sleeping.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense in the ban. It definitely makes sense for that Wax Artist ban as well.
Mhm.
Uh, anticipating, he is one of the strongest hunters to pick on a map like this. So yeah, could be looking, another enchantress possibly, something else to round out the survivor lineup, especially with what's been banned. Losing that merc, definitely allowing him to take a well-deserved rest, but
Yeah.
still removing him from the field, unable to, and no longer able to come in clutch with that assist. But opening the playing ground for, we could be seeing that perfumer, we could be seeing the mechanic, we could be seeing really anything that hasn't been banned as of yet.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited to see, this the last two Survivor picks and that last Survivor ban that's coming in. Honestly, it really is anyone's game. I can't wait to see what Apocalypse seems to have up their sleeve when it comes to their Survivor picks here.
Yeah, and we are going to see that barmaid get locked in. Yeah, definitely, again, really, really strong, especially on a map like this. So many areas to just throw down pallets and continue that chase, or continue to run from that chase, I should say. But yeah, very, very smart of Apocalypse to be able to lock her in before she's inevitably banned with that last survivor slot.
Hmm. Just because Barmaid really is that character. I mean, she can do just about anything. She's got the speed boost and she can heal herself. Um, she would have honestly been such a good perfect ban. And it's like Acrobat is our final Survivor ban.
Yeah, definitely
Understandable.
makes sense. Yeah.
As much as I love Michael, it just gets so much distance, and those bombs, they hurt.
Yeah, definitely not something that you want to deal with again on a map like this. Able to, just break that distance from the hunter, utilizing all of those kiting areas to their fullest potential. Not something that you want to deal with. So yeah, we could be looking probably at a rescuer to round out this final lineup, possibly seeing that gravekeeper come out again, possibly a first officer, just somebody who can carry tide,
Yeah.
and keep the team up. But we're actually going to
Oh
see a
my god.
batter.
God, my beloved.
Yeah, definitely, one of those more popular picks. Something that we've always loved to see. Great harassment potential. Definitely, probably looking to team up with that prospector to keep the barmaid and the female dancer alive. But we're definitely looking at a pretty aggressive final round from Apocalypse. Definitely going to give that 188 his run for his money as we head into this final round. But again, only needs one kill to secure that win for LG. So yeah, definitely looking at this harasser heavy lineup. Just sort of keep everybody alive. Make sure that get everybody out that gate.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Honestly, Donji Sweep.
yeah.
I'm such a
We have
huge Batter
seen.
fan.
Yeah, he's one of the strongest harassers that we have. Definitely, a lot of potential when it comes to just keeping up that pressure. The cooldown on the ball is it's fast, and he can activate his sort of rage excitement mode to reset that cooldown, give a little extra stun,
Mhm.
and just be able to keep up that pressure.
Honestly, this team composition is really exciting. All that's left is to see what the hunter chooses in this. It's really hard to decide on what's going to be the it for them, you know?
Yeah, I'm still holding out on seeing that Ripper come out to play.
Me too.
Or a lizard. We could always see a lizard. We should always see a lizard. But it as you've been saying, in terms of the hunter picks, really anyone's game, and we are seeing the personas get locked in, which means it's almost time for that hunter. But yep, prospector's got that flywheel going. Barmaid with that broken windows once again. Definitely, Pretty standard. I'm going to. Oh no, the batter's actually going to be carrying Flywheel as well. So we could be looking at a no tide turner lineup coming from these survivors.
Either no tide turner coming from this group of survivors, or you will see female dancer running. Which, honestly,
Oh,
yeah.
the dancer is going to be bringing that tide in for the survivors. Definitely an interesting pick. Probably looking for that barmaid to be the first chase prospector and the batter to provide that harassment. The dancer to come in at the probably towards the end, trying to get in that final rescue. But
Right.
yeah, definitely these survivors are not looking to see a chair at all.
No.
Looking to just keep up that pressure. Dancer also very strong decoder with those boxes, able to just place them, pick them up again, and move on to another one. And that the speed boost provided by those boxes, don't underestimate it,
Yeah, I
because
was
she's
gonna
basically
say.
just another decoder with those semi-recent buffs.
And we are gonna see another disciple into play here for the team composition. Like, this is that you want to keep an eye out. You have the disciple end up countering both the barmaid and even sometimes the batter, but Norton is such a great counter to her, so it's definitely something to just watch and see. I'm really excited. And back to the dancer. You know what? Dancer with the tide doesn't really surprise me on a map like this. Just because she really can't do anything. She gets the additional speed boost from vaulting out of windows no matter what. Even with that cooldown and with the box, she has it all.
Yeah, definitely. Bringing out that disciple, probably to counter that inevitable harassment. Able to just lock off those skills, pretty much any chance she gets as soon as those cats are up. Just closing off the skills. Unable to utilize that bat. Unable to utilize the magnets. Even though the prospector does counter her, probably not looking for that prospector for a first chase. Probably
Not
looking
at
to
all.
leave that prospector behind. And yeah, it looks like the survivor sub on Mekon is going to be that prospector. So we haven't actually seen what Mekon has to offer before. But we do see
No,
that
not
C
at all.
badge nice and shiny. Definitely got some experience under their belt with this character. And oh, even bringing out the Call of the Abyss skin. A little bit of a seasonal occasion here.
Such a guy. I'm really excited. School Mistress is definitely one of my favorite disciple skins. She is absolutely so beautiful. And I mean that barmaid skin too. That Halloween event, it was phenomenal. Super excited to see, the Persona event skins and that band, the Ganji beat. You just can't beat Ganji skin anyways.
A little bit of barbecue cooking up for the occasion. Okay, that sounds a little bit random. That is the name of the skin. I would like to
Yeah.
clarify. But yeah, so we are going to see these spawns picked out pretty quickly. It does look like that prospector in the middle ready to support. And yeah, it does look like that that disciple in prime position to go for either the barmaid or the dancer. It could be very valuable to take the dancer out of the equation. Even having to deal with those boxes, but taking out the one tide on the team right away
It's
could work in
crucial.
her favor.
Yeah,
But yeah, definitely expecting this barmaid though.
for sure.
But we will see what happens entering our final round. And again, that one idiot only needs one elimination to secure the win for LG. So definitely pretty high stakes for the Apocalypse survivors right now. And yep, transitioning towards the middle first move, we are going to see picking up the trail of the prospector, interestingly enough. But it looks like, yeah, just heading towards that batter as well. Possibly looking to take out the prospector before he starts gathering up those magnets. He doesn't even start with one, or I believe he starts with one. I believe that magnet
Yes.
may have already been used somewhere.
And then I
But
don't know if you missed it or not, but the cat did hit onto the prospector, but instead of chasing the prospector, we decided that we were the batter instead, and we have been stunning them out of their.
Yeah, able to just sort of lock off those skills momentarily. Batter unable to utilize that bat for a moment, but back into play now, and actually missing the ball.
Beautiful.
Flywheel here, and we're just gonna lock off those skills again and get in that basic hit.
It looks like the barmaid cipher is already at um and we have about 50-60% on the female dancer, and we are barely hitting about halfway on the prospector cipher here. So we are just a little bit behind on Apocalypse's survivor side.
Yup, beautiful work by that one idiot. Already seeing that chair. And yeah, the survivors are really just going to have to just very quickly. Already the prospector transitioning off of that cipher. That one idiot still carrying wanted order. Able to keep eye on the prospector, while the other survivors figure out how to adjust to this. It looks like the barmaid has continued decoding, and oh, very unfortunate, caught by a cat, but unable to get in a magnet in time, actually pulling the
Beautiful
disciple back
stun.
towards him, and pressuring that chair. Oh, multiple stuns, and that's the beauty of the prospector, just able to stun multiple times with almost no time in between. So
This is
definitely.
really good support coming off of the female dancer. Immediately pick, and those slow boxes in beautiful blink prediction there, just missing just as much as you need to in order to get away. And unfortunately, like um the batter uh vaulted right into the disciple, and um we are going to be seeing the batter be eliminated.
Yeah, and it looks like that one idiot kind of deciding what to do from here for a moment, breaking that box, switching targets. Prospector's being healed up by a Dovlin right now. Barmaid already has one back in play, and we are going to see that target switch to, I believe, yup, the female dancer. Already placing another box, another slow box. We've already seen how valuable those can be in just prolonging a kite. And yeah, bringing in that second cat, widening the radius, and yeah, we are going to see that dancer take a hit here and bringing
Mhm.
that one idiot to full presence. And oh,
Ooh. I think we
very
were
good
both
knowledge of where the
anticipating
tram actually
it.
stops. But hey, match isn't over. We could still see that coming into play.
Oh,
Wow.
beautiful.
Yeah, great use of that cat there to sort of just catch up to the window and stop the dancer from vaulting. And she is going to be seeing the basement, and we've got a little bit of... Oh, not seeing the basement, actually. Changing direction, a little bit of head-bobbing action from that one idiot. Probably having a little bit of fun with this.
Yeah, I mean, that one idiot really did already secure for LG, so the rest is really up to him for having the rest wherever it goes. It looks like
Mm-hmm.
we're going to chase the barmaid here just because she did get that, which means more of an instant down, and so she cannot get that heal off.
Oh, wow! Cypher
Mhm.
popping already. Just able to, keep up that pressure. But oh, and the prospector is back in play, getting in that magnet, but unfortunately not close enough to secure a stun. Both survivors are still in the area as the barmaid goes down. Um, yeah, we will see what Apocalypse's game plan is going forward. As you said, this is already a winning situation for LG. They will be proceeding to the next round. But yeah, it's really up to that one idiot to make this one count. And oh,
Oh,
a
nice jab
flywheel.
of the Norton, really good at predicting and juking out the disciple here.
Wow, beautiful maneuver by that 180, able to just sort of stay out of the cat radius just enough to get that magnet to push him back. Not quite enough for that cat to actually go off, able to jump right back and down that prospector. He'll be seeing a chair here. Barmaid is also still in the area, having picked up the chest over here, trying to heal up. But to no avail. We are going to see, yup, here we are.
Beautiful prediction of where the barmaid is going to be, right in that pallet where the cat just right. You know, this the knowledge of where these hitting is beautiful.
Yeah, just, continuing to keep up that pressure. Looks like Prospector is actually going to be opening the gate right now, yep, with a healthy 55%. So we could very well be seeing a draw coming up here unless that 180 is able to catch up. And whoa! Interesting jump there, almost jumping directly into the line of the tram, but no, looks like just allowing these survivors to get that draw as the tension runs out.
Mhm. I mean, the final tram hit here.
Bit of a well-timed escape at that, allowing the tram to come in the final moments
I mean,
for its little
honestly,
moment of glory.
Apocalypse put up such a great fight in this last match. I mean, between both the prospector and his support with the magnets and the stunning, and then the music box support coming from the female.
Yeah, just really, really good work on the Survivor side, able to push to that last pot, but unfortunately just not enough to secure that win. And LG, I believe, will be taking it home into the next round. And yeah, being able to continue in the tournament. But beautiful work from Apocalypse as well.
Right. Both teams is
Very, very, yeah. And I'm going to wait for an update on this one. Okay, LG has taken it home. Yup, with that lead in the first round, able to sort of just secure their way into the end. But yeah, great work to both teams. Thank you all so much for coming to this stream
Yeah.
and bearing with us through these rounds.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun with everyone today. Seeing so many familiar faces in the chat. And I mean, don't worry because tomorrow we have day 2 qualifiers. We more commentators coming on and we have brand new teams that like either you've seen before or you haven't seen yet. So honestly, stay tuned tomorrow. I'll even well, um so, do you know who's commentating tomorrow, Bo?
Me, I'm actually going to be commenting. Well, I believe. Let me just check this real quick. I
I
know that
know.
I'm going to be commentating with Psyche for the second match of the day. Again, starting at 5:30 EST, same time as today. We will. We will be commentating together, and then starting at 3 p.m. For the earlier stream, we will be having Mixie, who I believe was in the chat earlier, and Luci, who I hope will be able to make it tomorrow. Unfortunately, had to be subbed out earlier today when commentating with you, but hopefully we will be able to see him again tomorrow. But yeah, you'll definitely be able to see me again. Hopefully you enjoyed my lizardry. And yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this. I had a lot of fun with S. And you're actually going to be able to see us again next week on Saturday, same time. It's going to be us two again, and yeah, super excited to have the opportunity to commentate for this tournament. And thank you all for coming. Thank you to the Checkmate organizers for putting this together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having so much fun, even if it is the first day. And honestly, there's a whole month left of this, which I'm really, really excited about. And I'm super glad that like I got to join you today, and I can't wait to tomorrow. Honestly, thank you so much for everyone who did come in. It really means a lot, and thank you to all the people who like are hosting and helping moderate. We wouldn't be able to tournament like this without you guys, so I really, really do appreciate the help. and the understanding and the work that you guys do. I mean, thank you guys so much for spending your evening with us.
Yeah, so I believe all is said and done. Congratulations to LG for moving on to the next round, and congratulations to Apocalypse for being in this tournament at all. Beautiful work put on by both teams. And yeah, I am Bones, this is S, and we will see you later.
Bye bye.